We yearn to understand. It's in our DNA. From the moment we open our eyes to the universe, our minds are flooded with questions. What is this reality we find ourselves in? What are its rules? What is our place within this grand cosmic dance? The search for truth, for understanding, is a journey humans have embarked on since we first looked up at the stars. The 18th century philosopher Immanuel Kant grappled with these very questions. Kant proposed a radical idea about truth. He argued that our minds aren't passive recipients of information. Instead, they actively shape our experience of reality. We don't just observe the world, we process it, forcibly categorize it, and understand it through the lens of our own built-in framework. Think of it like this. Imagine the universe as a vast unpainted canvas. Our minds are the paintbrushes and our experiences are the colors. The act of perception, of understanding, is the act of painting our own unique picture of reality. Kant believed that certain fundamental structures shape our understanding. He pointed to geometry as a prime example. We don't discover geometric truths like parallel lines never meeting. We impose these truths onto the world. They are, in a sense, pre-programmed into our minds. They are the very tools with which we build our understanding of space and structure. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't geometry just, well, the way things are? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. But Kant's point is that we can't separate our way of perceiving the world from the world itself. Our minds are not passive observers. They are active participants in constructing the reality we experience. Fast forward to the 21st century and we find ourselves on the cusp of another revolution in understanding. This time it's not about the stars above, but the life that teems within them. Biologist Michael Levin asks a fascinating question. Where does the self begin and end? He explores the idea of a computational boundary of self. Imagine a colony of ants. Each ant on its own is a simple creature, but together they form a complex, intelligent collective. Levin proposes that similar computational processes might define the boundaries of an individual organism. This challenges our traditional notions of what constitutes an individual. Are we simply collections of cells, each with its own simple program, or is there something more, a higher level computation that unites these individual units into a cohesive self? Let's zoom out for a moment and consider the universe on a grander scale. One of the most mind-bending concepts in physics is the idea of a light cone. Imagine yourself at the center of a cone. The cone represents all of space-time. The past is behind you, the future is in front of you, and the present is the very tip of the cone where you stand. But here's the catch. You can only directly interact with events that fall within your cognitive light cone. These are the events that you can see, hear, or otherwise perceive. Events outside your light cone are beyond your reach, at least for now. Just as the speed of light limits how much of the universe we can see, our cognitive abilities limit how much of reality we can experience at any given moment. Zoom in, and it's the same kind of wisdom by a different name, the ancient wisdom of the indigenous medicine wheel. The medicine wheel and its familiars is a powerful symbol found in every ancient indigenous culture. It represents the interconnectedness of all things, the cyclical nature of life, and the importance of balance. The medicine wheel and its designations, like other ancient symbols, the yantra and tattvas, the yin-yang, can also all correspond to Euclid's elements and Platonic solids. It's a 2D representation of the same physical, quantum physical, and mechanical applications. These elements, fire, air, earth, and water, are not just physical substances or solids or truths, but also align with different aspects of our being, our physical bodies, our emotions, our intellect, and our spiritual selves. It collapses and expands where the self meets the whole, while also moving through. Though science, art, and philosophy reach far, the wheel is infinitely present. The medicine wheel reminds us that reality is not a collection of isolated parts, but a web of interconnected relationships. But it also reminds us who we are, why we are, and has ceaselessly endured whatever is next, because the one is the whole, notably in a non-binary and computational manner of application. It encourages us to seek harmony between our inner and outer worlds, to honor the cycle of harmonies, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. It illustrates the fabrications and exploitations of the law of man over nature in hierarchy. It is the philosopher's stone that European occultists die seeking to control in definitions of dogma. The point begets the line, begets the triangle, begets the circle, begets the journey back, and the waveform that pulses truth.